Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Letter, where
we
last
slept
night...
in the park.
We slept in the park, apparently.
I made that up.
I mean, you might not be wrong. Are we all slept in Ash's car at the park?
That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
When did the park turn into the safe zone?
Good question. I don't know if they just, like, didn't want to be at anyone's house, but, like, this thing can be pretty much anywhere. Which I'm kind of surprised, given that it can be anywhere. Like, if it really wanted to get one of them, it probably could have by now.
Yeah.
I mean, why didn't it just, if it can kind of appear out of nowhere, why didn't it just appear inside the elevator with Ash and Isabella, like that kind of stuff? I mean,
they're just toying with them.
I think that's a little bit of it too. I mean, I also feel like if you want to start like picking things apart, like nothing is going to hold up.
Yep.
So just accept it and move on. Moving on. A dreary downpour starts off the Monday. Although it doesn't last for more than an hour, the dark clouds lift just after the sun peaks over the horizon. Brief as it is, the rain has significantly dampened the park's usual cheery vibe. Mornings like this often mark the start of another bad week. An arrest gone wrong, another investigation leading to a dead end, or some truly fucked up shit being called in. Like that one time I was dispatched to a scene where a guy gouged his own eyeball out and almost ate it. Ugh. Was a few chews away from swallowing it. In fact, lost my dinner at that day.
Fun times.
Ugh. Of course, I doubt anything can top getting cursed by a damn chain letter of all things. This is a sort of stupid thing people pass along as a prank through emails and text messages, for fuck's sake. A ghost chasing after you just puts the icing on that cake. So far, all we've done is run, snoop about, read stuff, and run again. It frustrates me to no end how we're still no closer to an answer. Even my car reflects the state my mind is in. Photocopies of documents litter every available surface, scattered all over the place, spilling from the passenger side and into the back seat, making an entire mess of what little space there is. Not that I'm any better. My last shower was 24 hours ago. I haven't slept at all. My last meal was that chocolate porridge thing Isabella offered. I wonder, so the butterfly thing came up. I wonder if we had chosen differently, if you'd be like, I haven't eaten anything in days. We aren't gonna, we wouldn't have had the strength to outrun the ghost. That's how we made it.
This chocolate porridge will give me the strength that I need.
Yes. That's how we got away.
I wonder if that's like the Philippine version of Cocoa Puffs.
Ooh. Sold. The way I am now, I'll definitely get a scolding. Rebecca will definitely give me an earful to tell me to take care of myself better, say that I am killing myself on the job. I can already hear Isabella complaining how dark the bags under my eyes are getting and about how I reek and how I need to shower pronto.
I can rest easy when this is all over.
It's not that I can feel the pang of hunger. With that woman chasing after you, it's difficult not to feel anything other than horror. The rush of adrenaline coursing through my veins and my desperation to survive. In fact, I can still sense the ghost of her touch from last night. Her bony digits wound tightly around my ankle and that horrid smell as she has on her as she pulls me closer. The memory is enough to send a shiver up my spine and make me antsy. Perhaps the only thing comforting about this is the sight of my gun nearby. Yeah, she didn't fire yesterday. From my dashboard, the sunlight glints off Ophelia's surface.
Did he name his gun?
You did.
That's fantastic.
Normally, I keep it hidden in a compartment. Luxborn police regulations only allow authorized people to carry firearms, and even those are limited. I do have that authorization, but I never really saw the need for its use when the standard issue tasers are more than good enough to incapacitate anyone. If not, I can always throw them on their back. Those judo lessons Dad forced me to get as a kid has its uses too. On a ghost, though, all of those will probably yield the same result. They're all useless. I might as well use a stick. However, it's the feeling of ease I'm after, of what little of it I can gather from it.
Wonder if a taser would work.
I was just wondering that. The awareness that I, at least, have something to protect myself with in case things go wrong. That I can still protect the people who are still depending on me despite the missteps I've taken. It doesn't take the edge off, though, the feeling that your whole body has been strained far beyond its capacity. Frankly, I'm already running out of steam. The only thing pushing me right now is knowing someone's still depending on me. A stretch is still in order, though. I've been sitting here since last night. Soon I step out of the car, closing it behind me with a thud as I take my surroundings. The rain did wonders. The morning air feels crisper and cooler than it has ever been in days. For once, the weather seems to be taking a turn for the normal. Luxborn normal. In the distance, beyond the buildings, lining the horizon, dark clouds are blowing in.
A storm might be due this evening, give or take.
A shame for the people looking forward to Halloween night. Oh, I didn't even realize that it was October 31st.
Yeah,
there
Halloween.
We go. Well, there's that. I'm not sure whether this is something I can look forward to as well. Still, I bask in the change it brings. Inhale, exhale, breathing in, taking in the peace as if it'll be my last. But as with all good things, the quiet shortly comes to an end. Not necessarily a bad end. The chatter reaches my ears first, halting my movements. Sure enough, when I glance up, I find them, Zach, Rebecca, and Isabella, just as they've entered the park grounds, bags of convenience store food in hand. After last night's flight from Salem Mall, we've elected to stay the night here, unsure if our own homes will still be safe. Normally, we'd all be adverse to the idea of spending the night outside like this, but panic and distress has tainted that decision. It's not like any of us has gotten an ounce of sleep anyway. On the off chance one of us did, it only lasted but a second, or it's a fitful one. But looking at them now, from afar, it's easy to mistake them for just a group of friends on a day out. Isabella's gesturing wildly with her arms as she talks. This Matt chokes on nothing. Something funny or amusing, probably because it's soon followed by Zach's booming laughter and Rebecca's giggles. Their voices fill the atmosphere with light air, temporarily easing off the disheartening mood. It's easy to pretend we're not knee-deep in a life and death situation the way they're acting now. If anything, it's only their appearance that betrays that mask. Slightly disheveled, bags under their eyes, an exhausted curve in their shoulders, and dragging footsteps. Oh my god. I was hoping, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll be able to get a drink while they're talking.
Do you want me to take over for a second?
No, no, I was just like, they walked up. I'm like, okay, they're chattering. We're going to get some talking.
No, he has to monologue for 35 minutes about what the hell is going on.
Yep. But the closer they get, the more obvious these signs are to the naked eye. Zach tosses an energy drink my way the moment the distance allows it. Isabella hands me the other bag she's holding before seating herself on the edge of the fountain. The scent of warm food immediately wafts from the bag when I open it, carried further by a passing breeze. Here's my actual theory. Is by the time they got to Ashton's chapter, they ran out of budget for voice acting. So instead of having them talk to each other, they just were like, oh yeah, and they were talking about things.
Just don't put it up. I'll do her voice. I don't care.
The scent of warm food immediately wafts from the bag when I open it, carried further by a passing breeze. Whatever sweet sauce they drizzled over this pork wannabe, it smells heavenly. Hell, even the sorry-looking vegetables seem appetizing. Despite myself, without even checking exactly what this is, hunger swiftly takes over every rational thought. I dig in without waiting for them to start. The rest of them appear to be of the same mind too. Soon enough, they also start with theirs. No casual talk while we fill our empty stomachs. Exhausted as we all are, food is something we can't forego. Starvation dulls the thinking, weakens the body. Pro tip, guys. Being hungry will weaken your body.
I've learned so much.
If we're to survive this, we're going to have to take care of ourselves first. In a matter of minutes, we're done and dumping the empty cartons on a nearby waste bin. Along with it is the shift in the mood.
Can we talk about something?
There we go. Back to dismal. Back to the problems at hand. The comfortable atmosphere from a minute ago was nice while it lasted. Admittedly, I've missed these kind of moments between us.
I haven't.
We never had the chance. We've always busy on some project or work. The things we've taken for granted, now we're realizing how valuable they are.
Probably because you guys all monologue in your head while you sit there and stare at each other. I'm like, how do you guys actually have a friendship or conversations?
Everyone's just like sitting there mulling their
they're just staring
life.
at each other. Anyways.
The world has an awful sense of humor. While the one we've just had is short-lived, it's another thing I want to look forward to if we ever free ourselves from this damn curse. I'd like to believe there's a way. For now, we have to focus on the present. This. Dead people. The letter. The curse. It's not simple to bring these up, but necessary.
What now? Where do we go from here?
It's not a question directed at anyone in particular, but they all look to me as if my face has all the answers in the world. I used to think so back when I was at the top of my game, and I'm still sure of everything. Now there's just uncertainty sullying whatever decision I come up with. At some point, logic has simply stopped working here, and we've started gasping at straws. Along with exhaustion, fatigue, and stress, we have enough kindling to get a fire burning. Wait, so we are actually, like, camping. What is up with this music?
I don't understand.
This is great.
Are we standing out in the rain? Isn't it
No,
raining?
I think it's the fountain.
No, but he had mentioned that it was raining.
No, the clouds were coming in, so he's assuming there's going to be rain later. And that's a pleasant kind of
Well,
fire.
first, we can't just stay here. That much is obvious.
I feel like the park seems like a horrible place to stay.
Yep.
I get them not wanting to go back to their apartments, but like, holy crap, does that seem like a bad idea? What about Ash's place? Like, hopefully, you need a place with 2 exits, basically.
He sleeps in his car. We remember we discussed this.
Right. That's his, yeah.
But we can't just keep running like this either, Becca. Sooner or later, she'll...
As if we have a choice. We can't even go back to our own homes because that thing might get us. Nowhere safe. But dying is the last thing I want to do right now, Isabella. Not to a stupid chain letter. You were too gullible to pick up, bring with you, and show to everyone.
What a
Whoa.
bitch.
Okay, all right. Time out. She didn't intentionally show it to anybody.
Yeah.
Like, it just, like, showed up in her papers and then, like, showed up in some stuff. Didn't, like... Someone, like, grabbed at her papers or her bag or something?
I know Cooper did that. Grabbed it from the papers. I don't remember. But anyways.
At the theater? Oh.
I didn't do it on purpose. Becca, had I known, I wouldn't have...
Hey, you two. None of us want to die to this. Just calm down. We ain't getting anywhere shouting at each other.
Whose side are you on, Zachary?
What is your
No
problem?
one's. But we can't just say it's her fault. She did warn us not to
There you
open it. And both you and Ashton...
That doesn't exempt her from any blame. She's still largely responsible for it.
If I get out of this alive, we're no longer friends.
Right?
And you're not?
I didn't say that. Do you really think I don't blame myself for this as well?
I tried to warn all of you. None of you listened. Now you're blaming me for something I kept telling you guys since day one? You're just as responsible for this as I am.
So now you're throwing it back at us? We wouldn't even be having this problem if you're...
Well, you two cut it out! This ain't the place for I don't know, petty squabbles!
Ooh, Zach is mad.
If you don't want to get caught in it, then stay out of this, Zachary.
Oh no, Zach. Don't stop her. Let her say it. I'm sure she has plenty more to
This is
say.
where
Wow.
I'm waiting for Ash to pull out his gun and just like shoot it in the air.
There, yeah.
All right,
If I didn't
ladies.
know any better, she's all ready.
Already what? You want me to say it? Out loud? That I find you in this whole thing?
All right, that's enough!
Whoa.
Everyone, shut up!
Now falters silence at my words, and an awkward, stifling mood descends between us. I do not mean to shout, to snap at them, to add to that kindling. Not in a moment when, anytime, anywhere, she might get to one of us. We're all in the same boat, yet here we are playing the blame game. Little by little, we're falling apart, caving into the pressure, to the bleak situation we're trapped in. Did that ghost mean for this to happen? To divide each of us so she can pick us off one by one right after? Who knows? Anything's possible now if her kind can exist. With the fire burning between us rising as high as it does now, I'm afraid. Deathly afraid that the possibility might come sooner than I can figure all of this out. Fuck, I still can't think straight. I can't even believe the next words coming out of my own mouth, that out of everyone, I have to be the one to say these to them. This is more their forte than mine. Keeping the peace, placating everyone while I unintentionally aggravate people with badly chosen words. Funny how fast the tables have turned after just one unfortunate incident. How am I even supposed to cope?
If we all want to get out of this mess in one piece, we're gonna have to cool our heads first.
Yep. Before my own temper flares, I walk away and slide back into my car. If the door slams with more force than needed, I like to blame it on the pent-up anger boiling up in me. I'm not even sure what or who I'm angry at. The ghost, at them, or maybe at myself for being this useless. Because despite none of them saying it, I know, goddammit. They're still counting on me. In spite of my failures or every harsh word I've uttered, or how unbearable I can be as a friend. It's there when the tension after the argument finally breaks, and one by one they follow me and get in the car. Music in the background is creeping me out. Thought it was coming. It's inconcerned glances they shoot my way when I start the engine without a word and drive off. It's in their silence, a heavy gift, their unwavering trust. Yet it's one I'm more than willing to carry, even though my own exhaustion, if only to keep them safe. In this city of 68,000 strangers, they're the only ones I have left. Though in all seriousness, a good rest is still our best bet for now. Thinking with an exhausted brain is almost as good as running around in circles. We might as well just throw ourselves at the ghost and be done with this. The local Irish pub may not be the best place to hang around when one hasn't slept a wink or when you're stressed. More often than not, it's loud. Sometimes the music played by the drunkards grates the ears and the whole place smells like piss on a bad day. All in all, it's very definition of the last place I'll hang around after a wakeful night, but it's safe. Or as safe as it can be with G's security watching the place. Makes it easy to find help in case you find yourself in a tight spot.
I just don't know if I would want to expose other people to it.
Well, I think the thinking is that it won't show itself around other people who...
I don't know, she did it out in the open when they were walking down that street.
Oh, that's true. But I don't think anyone else could see it, though.
Well, she could still show up in there and no one else could see her.
That could be. The place being owned by a person I've implicitly placed my trust on provides me some semblance of comfort too. Grigor, bartender G, or just G as to his regular patrons, might be rough around the edges. Sometimes a bit too gruff for a man serving drinks behind the counter, but he belongs to the good folk of the city. If there's anyone in this place I can rely on to look after people important to me, it's probably him. He means well, surprisingly, despite his surly demeanor, cares to some extent for people he likely only sees once or twice a week or on a bad day. Not the best job in the world, in my opinion, but that's exactly it, isn't it? In wine, there is truth. Alcohol, in this case. It loosens the tongue, forces one to let his or her guard down. Whatever inhibitions anyone has, it all flies straight out the window after a few glasses. It has made him observant, too. Always has one or two things to say about someone or something. Most of the time it's me, opinionated ass. But God knows how many times I've asked for his help when I met with a dead end in a case or I'm in trouble. This time's no different. As expected, the moment we show up, he's kind enough to offer us a room at the back of his shop. A single look at my face, I don't even need to say anything, and the next thing we know, he's leading us in. No questions asked. Maybe it's also for this reason why I find myself drifting towards this station hours later after having gotten that much needed shut-eye. Newly washed drinking glasses and tumblers line the counter surface when I enter the room. Behind the bar, G's busy wiping each of them clean, likely prepping it for tonight's use. Briefly, he glances up at me once I claim one of the empty stools and grab a rocks glass sitting closest to my elbow. Turning it absent-mindedly in my palm just to keep my hands occupied while my brain's busy, still trying to make sense of everything. Even at a dead hour with only a few patrons milling about, this place still smells thoroughly of liquor. Honestly, I've never grown fond of it. Regardless of how many times I've made a trip or sat here on the same spot just talking with the old man, I've never been fond of drinking in the first place. Yet oddly, it's the nasty odor of a brewery that helps clear the mind this time. Along with the lack of establishment's usual hubbub and the occasional clinking of glasses. Even more bizarre is that, though through my lack of words, G doesn't say anything. Although it's clear from the way his mouth is curved up in a tight frown that he has questions, a bucket load of it, he wisely keeps it shut. Instead, he simply focuses back on his work. Rinse, wipe, stash away, repeat. Going through the motions with such familiarity, it's almost a trance. Watching his precise movements quietly like this, with thoughts swimming inside my head, it's easy to lose track of everything around me. One solid lead on this, one possible way to sort this out, but will it work? Especially if my assumption's correct and the reason Zach was there yesterday morning was because of the curse. Something must have happened there for him to see the need to visit that place that morning. What if the couple has fallen victim to the curse too? It doesn't fall outside the realm of possibility. I've been so biased, not even thinking that they might be in danger as well. But during the open house with Isabella, they might have seen the letter and... Fuck.
Stupid. Some fucking detective I am.
Stupid. That's likely the moment when Cooper saw it. If the logic holds, I need to hurry there right away. And if there are answers anywhere, it should be there. It should be there. It would be there. It should be there, where all this fucking mess started. It's not only my life on the line here, there are others. What happened to us, I won't wish on anyone else, no matter how much I loathe them, or how complicated all this has suddenly become. The letter, the woman, the mansion. And now there are the voices lacing venom inside every crevice in my head, murmurs that jeer, scoff, and deride whenever opportunity presents itself.
It's because you didn't listen.
Oh. Alright, we'll just find out what that voice is in the next episode. Nice. Well, I don't know who that is.
Sounded like his own self.
Or I wonder if it's the ghost. How she pretended to be Kylie is now Professor Andrew.
Maybe.
That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, we'll just have to find out next time. That's going to do it for us. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.